Okay, good evening. Welcome everyone. Do turn your videos on. So I see some new faces, some old faces, and yeah, I'm a visual person. So if you turn your videos on and if I can see you, then this session and whatever we talk about is going to be more customized for you. And it's also going to help me keep the interest and energy alive. So do turn your videos on. Hi Padma, hi Rashmi, hi Shailesh, hi Shruti,
Thank you.
Pali. Okay, so
Hi, ma'am. Hi.
hello. Okay. Okay, so
Nice connecting with you.
sorry.
Nice connecting with you today.
Same here.
Okay.
Uh, so let's do a very quick, on in the chat, we'll do a bit of poll just to get to know where people are so that I can customize the session accordingly, right? So just write a line or two in the chat. And this is what I'd like to know. Have you read the book? Or have you done the program? Have you read the book Career Alchemy or done the program Career Alchemy? Uh, B, I mean, if you've have you already done the ROTI, return on time invested at work exercise, which is what we're going to do today? And are you here to do it once again? Because this is an evergreen exercise that can be done multiple times. It can, and every time I do it, it contributes to me. Of course, I mean, you don't do it daily, but it's more like, you can visit it once in 6 months or once in a year, depending on how fast or slowly you're evolving and crafting your career. And yes, I just like to know those two bits. And this particular exercise is there in chapter 4 of the book, right? So if you've started reading the book, but you've not yet done chapter 4, let me know that as well, right? So are you reading the book A? And B, have you done? Okay, the reason I need to also know if you've done chapter 4 or if you've done module 4, there's also a career alchemy program that some of you are taking in a self-paced mode. Some of you have done it earlier in the cohort mode as well. And I know we have people from, all these different groups here. So if you've done module 4, you'll see that the ROTI exercise, return on time invested at work exercise, comes towards the end of the module 4. Module 4 is on devillainizing and redefining work. If you have read chapter 4, you'll again see that it comes at towards the end of the chapter. The reason is that all the exercises that you do before that actually all begin to, they also give you food and fodder and ideas, and they open up things and give you clarity that, and in fact, even chapter 3 on redefining success will all lead up to give you more and more clarity on and ideas on what you can put into your return on time invested exercise. That said, even if you've done none of that, I've done, sometimes I just do webinars or just a very small workshop or intervention, and somebody who's not done any of that can still, use this exercise, and you can still get a lot of awareness and clarity out of it. It's just that the more inner work you do, the more you're going to be, you're going between under the layers of the onion, and the more you can bring this to yours. So let me check where this group, each person is on the chat. Okay. Not done got the program, not done the exercise, haven't at the, okay. Mm. Okay, Swati said, when I was beard space, how nice, Swati. I'm so glad to read that. In progress. To redo the exercise. Annual ritual. How nice, but yeah, looking forward to do this now. Okay, so we have the entire, we have, yeah. So we have people, okay, who have done it, who are here to repeat the exercise, and we have people who have never done it before, and that's okay. You're all welcome. So what I will do is, okay, I see another. Okay. Nice. Okay. So what I will do is I will give a very short 2, 3 minute summary recap of the exercise, and then we will start. Okay. So what is the idea behind this whole return on time invested? So the analogy that you can use, the one that we're most familiar with is ROI, right? When you put your money in a fund or you put your money into a project or something, you expect a return on it, right? On the money that you invest. And similarly, when we go to work or when we work on something, we are investing something. What are we investing? We are investing our time. So we are also investing actually our energy. So you can include that, but very tangibly, we are investing is we're going to use time. We're investing our time. As a result, we expect to get something back out of that. Now, what is the most obvious thing that most of us associated with? Let's look at a typical company. When a company hires, you'll say, okay, this is your compensation. So what are they compensating you for? For your time and efforts, right? So very simply, the idea is, okay, what's the money? Yeah. So the pay, the salary, or the money that you get, that is one obvious return. Okay. But what can we go beyond that? What else? What are the other returns? Okay. So there's also learning. We learn. So when you go to a business school or anywhere, again, you're investing your money and time, and what you get back is learning. So on the job, don't we learn, right? So learning, we grow, you can have fun, you can enjoy yourself. And again, these are three main things that you can look at. So even if you're just looking at money, learning, growth, enjoyment, you've actually got a wider ROTI. Now the beauty of this exercise is you can do it just at this very broad level, or you can really start fine tuning it to things that you want. And this is where some of the the more you do the inner work exercises, like the ones that are there in chapter 2 and chapter 3, the more you'll start getting clarity on what you could include. And it's completely up to you, right? So when I started first creating my roti at work, so I have a high need for self-expression through writing, through speaking, through art. So one of my return on time invested at work is a opportunity for self-expression. That's something that I put in earlier on, right? So then somewhere mid after some time, I started asking, I love nature, so I wanted to start spending time in nature. So you can literally put that as one of my colleagues, she loves people, so she wanted, like we go shopping, some of us go alone, some like to go with people, right? Some of us go for movies alone. You like go with friends. So she likes to do joint work. So one of her returns was a chance to work with people whose company she enjoys. Some people have status. Somebody might want power, or you might want respect, or you might want fame. Right? So you might want a chance to contribute, to make a difference, to serve a certain cause, to yeah, and the list goes on and on and on and on. During COVID, a lot of us realized that it's a chance to actually get up and, get out of your pajamas, wear nice clothes, and go out somewhere. Work actually became an opportunity for that as well, right? It was always there, but it became more salient when that was taken away from work. So these are just some ideas of things that you can put in. So what we're going to do is we're going to do the exercise first now. Okay, so before we do it, let's stop and let me take some Q&As. And right now the Q&As are more on just how to do the exercise, right? This basic concept itself. And then we'll get into breakout groups. I'm going to invite you to do the exercise. You can do it in one of three ways, okay? So, and you don't do all three. So as of today, choose one of these three ways that you want to use it. One way is like a stock taking exercise. So right now, how has it been? What are the returns that you've currently been getting for the time that you invest in your work? And you can just take the last 3 months or the last 6 months, or if you're in a very new job, the last 1 month, right? So what has it been? Note it down and you reflect on it. Is this working for you? Is it not working for you? Which usually that's a black and white question. So which parts of it are working for you? Which parts of it are not working from you for you? And from there you can start looking at, okay, what do you want more of and what do you want less of? Okay. So that's one way of doing it, doing the exercise. The second way of doing the exercise, now this is if you are someone who's worked through chapter 2 or module 2 if you're doing the course. If you work through the exercises in chapter 3 also, now you already have a list of things that are really important to you, right? Things that are your personal values, things that you've identified your dimensions and directions of life along which you want to make progress. So you have those. You have those bullet points. So wherever you've written those notes, wherever you have that, it's time to pull it out and then start looking out of that, what do you want to put into your return on time invested at work? Okay. So that's the second way in which you can do it. And this is for people who've done the exercises already. The third way you can do this. Now, some of you know that, so I have a portfolio career. One of the chapters in the book also is on portfolio careers. This comes at the end. Some of you have done the course of portfolio careers with me. So for those of you who have a portfolio career, so what's a portfolio career? You're doing more than one project or more than one job, right? So now, one of the benefits of a portfolio career is that now think of your return when you're looking at a normal job. Let's say you have one job, you're looking at, okay, what is the return on that? But when you have a portfolio career, it's now like a financial portfolio, right? So literally, let's take the same analogy of finance. You're putting it into different things. So there can be a different returns that you want from different investments, right? Different kinds of returns. So similarly, from one job, for example, I'll take my example from one particular kind of, let's say teaching. I might say, okay, this is a chance to impact youngsters like Vipula, okay? Or this, hi Vipula. And this is a chance for self-expression, or this is a chance for learning, right? More of that. Then I'll say, okay, and private coaching. What are the returns I want there? Maybe deeper connection, maybe a greater understanding of people's inner works, right? So the roti that I have, that I design for different parts of my portfolio of the different kinds of work I do, they can be different there also. And then overall, I can have a roti. So you can also, if you have a portfolio career, it's a good time to do it this way. Okay. So these are three different ways in which you can actually check in with your roti and define it. So I'll stop now. We will um, actually we'll do the exercise as a larger group. We'll do it right now here. Get a pen and paper if you haven't, and then get into breakout groups where you can share it and then come back into the larger group and do Q&As there as well. Okay. So any questions right now about how to do before we do it? And again, pick one of the three methods to do it right now. Okay.
Dr. Ramya, I have a question. So this is Rupali. So I preferably it's the first option that would suit me better. But I wanted to check with you. Is it only 3 months, or can we take it prior to that also? The reason I'm saying this is there have been certain significant changes in my in the environment of my job over the last I would say about 4 to 5 months. So, if I have to choose a time phase between that before 5 months to now, it's a 180-degree change. And if I talk about what would give me that, when would I go to work with a spring in my feet, I would say earlier. So is that something? So in a situation like this, what would you suggest? Should I reflect on?
Yeah, lovely. Okay. So now let's add, this is a fourth way in which you can do this, okay? Which is where you can use this to compare between two things. Okay, you can use this in many ways. It's such a versatile exercise. Okay, so now Rupali's short question. Very clearly, you know that what lit you up was the former, right? Rather than the latter. Is there a chance where this environment is going to shift back to that? Is that under your control? Is that a possibility or no?
It's there's a very bleak chance. So I'm at a stage where I'm planning what should I do next in my career.
Lovely. Okay, great. Yeah. So this is important, everyone. Okay, now if she had said now if that was something in her control, right? Let's say she's a freelancer. She was doing something, now she's doing something else and saying, okay, that's better, I can go back. Then we would do a kind of comparing kind of thing. Okay. But if that's not the case, if that's not under her control, then we won't use it for comparing between these two, buckets. But what we'll use it is just for awareness. So yeah. So Rupali, what I would urge you to do is, yes, extend it, do it overall so that you identify these. And once she identifies what were the things at that time that really lit her up, now those become her asks for what to look for next, or what to create next, or what to negotiate for in the next job, what to insist on, okay, that this better be there. You get that? Yeah. So you do it with that agenda.
Thank you.
And I want, great, Rupali, and I want everyone. So this is an exercise that I wanted to be useful and relevant to you today. So please customize it, just like Rupali has done. Okay, customize it so that this is going to help you from tomorrow itself. Okay, paper, pen. You can all do this for 10 minutes. I'm going to see if I can play some music for you as we do this. Okay, welcome back. Okay, everyone, welcome back. Do turn your videos on. I want to see your faces. Your faces are all happier faces after the breakout activity. It's always the case, isn't it? Okay, so who wants to share? So the sharing, we don't need a summary of what your kids, yes, what kids bedtime is important, of what your group discussed, but I want to hear your own reflections, learnings, takeaways, insights, anything you want to share. And your learning takeaway insight can be from your own sharing. It can also be from listening to your pod members sharing. Okay. So but it should be phrased as I language. And don't tell us who this person was, because we don't have their permission, right? So if it's when you're speaking about yourself, that's fine. Otherwise, you just say from when I heard this from somebody else. Don't take the name. Yeah. Who wants to share?
Maybe I can go, Dr. Ramya. It's been a while. So I think my takeaways, Dr. Ramya, is I think now doing this exercise today, it's I think after 1 year now that I haven't done this, and I'm right now in probably one of the lowest phases of my career in my entire tenure. But I feel like if this would have happened to me before I did the Career Alchemy program, I would have been shattered and crying and depressed. But doing that program, I can see that I am handling this failure phase so much better than I myself would have done 2 years ago, and I can feel that sense of resilience right now. Also, I'm in my failure phase, but that sense of resilience is something I can already feel, and that itself is a sense of achievement, which whatever I'm trying to achieve, I'm not able to achieve, is a different problem. But that there is a sense of achievement in the resilience itself. And in this, I have some of the notes which I have made. I think now I'm able to observe deeper, because I think when we are at the peak time, right, and I was sharing that also, when we are at peak, we're just moving from thing to thing, and appreciations, there's a lot of momentum, and we're just doing in that zone. But now when I'm in that low phase, there's a more introspection, and I think I have learned the max I've ever learned in a block of 6 months in my journey. And that is probably because it gives this slowdown, right, which I'm feeling inside my head, is making me to try hard and improve myself. So all of that. And it's some of this, I mean, I remember when I did that obituary exercise and the hero's journey, all of that seems to be, I feel like I am able to, you always used to say, right, we can disassociate from ourselves and see ourselves as a third person. I can see that, I feel. And that hero's journey thing, I'm like, I'm that hero fighting the war and just trying to come up with a different strategy. Or that obituary note which I had written, and something which I had noted back then, I have it now and I can appreciate it. But 2 years ago, I wouldn't have appreciated. So all of this, I mean, I don't know what would I have done in this phase if this happened to me before I went through your program. So thank you.
Thank you for sharing, Shruti, and hats off to you. You absolutely spoken with the hero's mindset and an embodiment of resilience. And I could resonate with so many things you're saying, and I'm sure the others can as well, right? So the slowing down, the grounding, that's when the learning, the embodiment, um, and the growth that happens, right? Like, I really, I like to use this analogy of muscle, like when you go strength training. And somebody recently asked me, was like, should we go looking for difficulties? They asked me if I go looking for, because I'd used written a post on the strength training analogy when things get challenging in life. And I was like, no, I don't go looking because life gives me enough. And I'm not going to, unless for whatever reason you're someone who's not getting, life is not throwing challenges at you. And I do actually believe that the universe is giving us this. So I'm like constantly in this one-on-one with the universe, right? Like it's like this really looking after me and giving a very customized Ramya plan, very customized Shruti plan. And I don't think it ever gives us anything, A, that we can't handle, B, it's just the right level that we can handle, and we're getting enough. Yeah. So hats off to you, Shruti. And you're handling it beautifully, growing, and so good. In fact, these can also be asks in our return on time invested at work. Make me stronger, make me bolder. im- you know when I was coaching, and I'm still coaching, but I've really tapered down my private coaching. But once somebody had come to me, she was working with the United Nations, and she was in her job was to do negotiations, okay, across countries and all. And she wasn't from this background at all, and basically her sponsor told her, you need to get capacity training. So she was like, what is this capacity training? And she's hunted somehow, and I don't know how she found me. And basically, she landed up. And her first question was, I didn't even know something like this existed, because she was in this she was like, and she asked me, why is it called capacity training? And that's what it is. It is building capacity, right? Because she has to go into all these conflict zones, and it's very difficult. It's tough. So her coaching was her entire the agenda we had for her, which came from her sponsor, and her job description was, it was a capacity building coaching, right? So it is not life coaching, or not let's have fun at work, or let's enjoy work. It was capacity building coaching, because that was really what is required. So yeah, we are all naturally building our capacity. Beautiful share, Shruti. Thank you. Who else wants to share? Anybody?
Okay, so I'll go next, Dr. Ramya. So I think because so I have not done the program, I've not read the book yet. So for me, this was a very, very new experience, and I'm so glad that it happened, because so what I had done while noting things down, I wrote my opportunities. I wrote what is the return that I have for these opportunities. What is the return I was getting until 5 months ago, and last 5 months what the return has been. Of course, earlier there was a long list. Now that it literally came down to two things. One was money, and other was, because of the environment I'm in, I'm building patience, and I kind of, that was my list. And then when I was speaking to the partner who was with me in the breakout room, just speaking to this person was such a good experience. I again had this another lens of around faith, that it's in a way testing your faith, that you've done the work, you're capable, but something is not working out. Now how long can you still hold on to that hope? Of course, that doesn't mean that you don't sit down, you don't reach out to people for jobs, you don't keep updating your CV. You do all of that, but even after doing all of that, nothing's working out. So, for how long are you able? How are you just continuing to keep that hope without falling into that zone of anxiety? So, in fact, I was telling this person that the other day I was telling my friend that, hey, listen, things are not going great at work, but I'm worried that I'm not worried. Because I know 3 years ago, I would be frantic. I was like, oh my God, things are not working out. I have a job, but things are not working out. It could fall tomorrow. But today I'm a bit at peace. And even right now, as Shruti was sharing her experience, and I was listening to you, and I had this another thought coming in. I have only about 9 years of experience, but it was always like first a fresher trying to learn things in that hustle mode. Second job, you have something going on personally, so you're still trying to keep everything together. Third job, when you finally thought everything is great, the COVID hits, you're working with a startup, so now again you're on a hustle mode. So if I look back, this has actually been the only time when I can say, okay, so if I'm long auto ride and I'm sitting, I'm not talking to anybody, I don't have anything to worry about. So that's such a beautiful feeling, which maybe I wasn't grateful for. So I'm just so glad I could join this conversation. Thank you.
So glad to hear that as well. Lovely. And I love the yet. I don't have the book. Yes, get the book. It's yeah.
I was sharing
pictures.
with the person I was with in the breakout room. I'm such a huge person on reading. I will go to a supermarket to buy something and I will come back with 10 books. So now I promised myself, out of all the books I have not read, unless I finish 5, I'm not buying another book. So I'm just trying to hold on to that promise. I'm at the second book. Once I finish those 3.5, I'm getting the next book.
Yes, go for it. Okay. Anyone else would like to share or any questions to ask?
Yeah, I would like to share. So even I have not gone to the book or just some starting initial lectures of the self-paced mode learning. So what I've shared about my last 3 months journey so far, I feel pride about what I have implemented, the job which I've done over there. So I lead the talent function in one of the organization, and leading the talent management function with senior leaders, doing things, liquidating things. That really makes me feel proud because I do certain things and drive gives me a good kick, and helping people to achieve their goals and their careers it really intrigue me. There's something value add I have done in their careers. But it's a very on and off. Right now, since it's implemented now, it's more about creating the IDPs, the development plans, succession plans. Now pushing behind that again, a different gear to wear on. But in my personal career, when I look myself, I also see, okay, can I do something more beyond that? Can I learn on meditation trainings and uh, be a good facilitator so that I can also have a context about what they need and give them that kind of facilitation. So that's it's always on and off. So I feel proud about what I'm doing, but sometimes it feels okay, it's enough now. Should we do something else? So that's always keeps on and on.
Wonderful. Wonderful
That's
share.
how I feel.
Yeah, thank you. And I'm going to use Shailesh's share to just bring out something. So so I'm just combining this with because it's all related, by the way. So this there's something that we talk about called approach and avoidance goals. This comes very much at the end of the book in the goal setting chapter, but I'm just going to bring it in here right now, right? Even with your roti, as you're doing this exercise, and this came out both this way, when you in the beginning Shailesh was talking about this and this and this, those were approach goals, right? So approach goals now will help him zone in on, okay, if I want this, how can I do this more? What are different ways of doing this more, right? What else can I take? What do I need to know next? So what do I go looking for, right? So you get it. So literally once we identify it, it could have been there all around. It could have been, these opportunities could have been in our organization, in our community around us, but we never said that, oh, I want this. So then we are not even looking at it. It's like, you just close your eyes and you think of the color blue. I want to see blue. And then you look around, oh, And I'm actually right now seeing my room has so many blue things. You get that, right? So it's actually going to start bringing these things into your world only because now you're looking for them specifically. And as a precursor, you have to do this exercise to identify that. Then it works with a flip side also. You can use it, right? So towards the end of his sharing, he also said, "Ye bahut ho gaya. This thing too much ho gaya," right? So this can be, okay, I cannot tolerate this kind of thing anymore, or maybe this toxicity, or maybe this kind of behavior, or this kind of whatever, this kind of commute, or this kind of this. And it's when we don't like those things, then also what we need to do is we take it and we turn it around. So we don't want to say, we don't want to walk through life saying, I don't want this, don't want this, don't want this, because sort of the universe doesn't understand that language very well. So we turn it into, so if I don't want long commutes, what do I want? I want happy, easy commutes, walk to office, or, a nice, comfortable bus or car or whatever, right? So get clear on what we want, the opposite of that, and then put that into your routine. I say, I want this now, right? So that's the way to deal with the things that we don't want. That also gives awareness. Okay, I think that's a good summary, and I hope it's a good place to end. And I want to keep these short and sweet, like 1 hour, so that people don't get intimidated about joining. I think more than 1 hour becomes like, can't take time out for most people. So yeah, and I mean, I'm happy to take, if you have a burning question, we can definitely take it. But if not, yeah. So yeah, yes,
So
Pratibha.
one last question, I mean, like last question.
Sure. Yeah.
Ashish.
Yeah. Hi, Ash.
So
Pratibha, we'll just take two questions.
yeah,
If others need to
sure.
drop out, we have closed, so feel free to drop out also. Don't want to, and then we'll close after these two.
So whatever I got so far, I wanted that thing badly at one point of time. So how to choose things which makes relevance after we get that. So any insight on that?
Very great. Okay, so again, so have you either read the book or done the program?
No, I just
The
attended your
career
session at
Alchemy
NHRD
book or the
conference, if you know
career.
that.
Okay, great. So yes, the answer is actually I get the career alchemy book, because I mean that's the easiest. You can also do the program. It's a little longer, deeper, and book is easy investment. You can get it for a, what I tell people is get it for a glass of wine. See, that's the comparison. But chapter 2 is all about that. Not chapter 2, chapter 3. Chapter 3, where we redefine success for ourselves and identify those dimensions. So you heard Shruti talking about the obituary exercise. So that's one of the exercise. So chapter 3 has multiple exercises, all different ways of getting past all the conditioning in the brain and the programming to get into what is it that really holds meaning and purpose for me. And then when we start creating our asks around that, the chances are going to be much, much, much higher that it's really in line with something that holds lasting value for you. Yeah, it's a great question. Otherwise, often I can just ask what my neighbor has, right? So one of the examples I gave was like, I wanted to get into IIT because I was like, the town that I grew in, everyone was like, wow. And it came, and then I got in, and then it didn't give me any lasting thing, right? Because it was just a very short term, oh, everyone wants this kind of thing. So yeah, we still get, we get what we ask for. We will make sure we get it. But like you said, we want to do the inner work before that, so that we know what we are asking for. And when we get it, it's a long, sustainable, happy journey with the return of that ask. Okay, Pratibha.
Hi, Dr. Ramya. So because Shruti mentioned it and now you just mentioned it, I was wondering if we could, for the next session, we could do the eulogy exercise. Because I feel it's a good way to prepare a guide kind of a thing and then plan, work back for the life that we want to create.
Yeah, it is.
So
And I'm wondering if we can do that in a shorter call like this. What we
Yeah.
can, because we need a little more time to do that exercise.
Either ways, I mean,
Yeah.
however you see fit, but I would Yeah.
I'll think of how we can do it. Right.
Because when you were talking about, the customized plan for yourself or Shruti and all of that, like a light bulb moment. I see it happening with me right now, these days, especially when I pick up my sleep meditations, right? I listen to just one person, but she has fresh content coming out very frequently. A lot of times I find myself going back to some of her stuff, but as I'm drifting off to sleep, I get to hear some new portions, or maybe I've not paid attention to them before and everything, and they're exactly what I needed at particular moment of time.
Yes. Yeah.
So I mean, I find the synchronicity of it amazing.
Yeah, I know. So yeah, and I'm just going to similar example. So when you attend the 10-day Vipassana camp, there's I don't know if how many of you are aware of Vipassana. Every day you listen, they have a recorded 1 hour talk by Goenka, who's the founder of Vipassana. He's the master teacher. And you'll be very surprised. And you're like, I'm supposed to have listened to this talk earlier. And I'm listening
Right.
to it. And you will get out of that same 1 hour talk what you need now at this point
Yeah.
in time. So yes, of course, bounded awareness at play.
Yeah.
So those
So
of you who are wondering what's bounded awareness, that's in chapter 1 of the book and module. Right?
another thing, I think I mentioned in the chat earlier today in the movie, I saw the house of my dreams. It was just really funny. I mean, you did a meditation that was about, the walking into the house that we want or something of that sort, towards the last module or something. And today, I mean, in the movie, they're playing it out, and I'm like, shit.
Wow, go for it, Pratibha. There are no coincidences. Seriously.
Yeah, I know. So it was good seeing it like that.
That's lovely. So that the future self vision
Yes.
exercise, right?
Yes.
Very nice. Very glad to hear that.
So, yep,
Okay,
that's
people.
for me right now.
Okay. Okay, lovely, lovely. Have a good night, and we'll meet again in the next Connect one. See you. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Good night.
Thank you, Dr. Ramya.
Good night.